Hey there, welcome back. Well, it's been pretty crummy weather here in Cape Coral the last week or so, and so I've taken advantage of a break in the weather and a little bit of sunshine to go ahead and get the 65 out. And on this video, I'm going to continue in the series of videos I've done over the different quadrants of Cape Coral. I gave you a tour and took you around the northwest. Also, a couple weeks ago, did the southwest section of Cape Coral, and this week I'm going to do the southeast section of Cape Coral. It's sort of the main commercial center of Cape Coral, so I'll give you an overview of the area, talk to you about the different roads and some of the different things that we have in the southeast. If you're new to the channel and you don't know me yet, my name is Dustin Guthrie. I'm a longtime resident of Southwest Florida and Cape Coral, and a longtime full-time real estate broker here for almost 20 years now. And I do multiple videos every single week on this channel. I do informational videos about Cape Coral and Southwest Florida like this one. I also do listing tours. So if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, I think you should go ahead and reach over and click that subscribe button. I think you'll get a lot out of being subscribed to this channel. Try to create a lot of value, give you a lot of information with these videos in the hopes that, when you do have a real estate need here in Southwest Florida, maybe you're looking to buy a place and move here, maybe you live here now and you've got a place to sell, maybe you'll think about me and give me a call. My contact information is down there in the description of this video, and you can reach out to me anytime. Call me, text me, email me, whatever it takes. There's also a link down there in the description where you can even book a one-on-one Zoom appointment with me. So with that being said, let's take a look at the southeast section of Cape Coral.
Okay, so when we talk about Southeast Cape Coral, what specific area are we talking about? Well, if you watched my other videos on the other quadrants of Cape Coral, you already know that almost all of our addresses have one of 4 different directional prefixes on them. For example, a particular address might read 5426 Southeast 7th Street or 4112 Northwest 8th Terrace. Whatever directional prefix an address has indicates which section of Cape Coral that address is located. In the case of the southeast section of Cape Coral, we're talking about this area right here. It's basically everything within the city limits that's south of Hancock Bridge Parkway and east of Santa Barbara Boulevard. This area was the first area that started being developed in Cape Coral way back in the 1950s, and because of that, it's also where much of the commercial activity is located. There are 4 main roadways in southeast Cape Coral, and I'll start with the biggest one. It's called Del Prado Boulevard, and it runs almost the entire length of the city from north to south. Del Prado is really the main commercial artery for the city, and there's not too much that you won't find along that road in the southeast. There's entertainment options like movies and bowling, tons of shopping, including grocery stores and big box stores like this Walmart Supercenter, and a ton of great bars and restaurants. There are also churches like St. Andrew's Catholic Church and my wonderful church, City First Church, which is on the corner of Del Prado Boulevard and Hancock Bridge Parkway. Just about anything that you need to find on any given day is along Del Prado, and that includes the Cape Coral Hospital, where all 3 of my kids were born. Some wonderful people work at that hospital, and most of the medical facilities and doctors' offices are close to the hospital, and they're right on Del Prado. Even my office is right on Del Prado, so stop in and say hi sometime. We're right at the southeast 12th Terrace intersection. The other main north to south roadway is to the west of Del Prado, and that's Santa Barbara Boulevard. That road also nearly runs the entire length of the city, and it serves as the border between the southeast and southwest sections. It's also a pretty big commercial artery, but it's nowhere near as big as the Del Prado corridor. There are 2 main east to west roads in the South Cape. First, we have Veterans Parkway, which pretty much bisects the entire city, and it goes all the way across the Midpoint Bridge to Fort Myers, where it becomes Colonial Boulevard. Finally, towards the southern end of the city, there's Cape Coral Parkway, which also runs the entire width of the city. Cape Coral Parkway in the southeast section of Cape Coral is basically our downtown area, and along with its parallel sister street, Southeast 47th Terrace, it creates sort of a cultural heart of the city. Here you'll find a lot of the nightlife that the city has to offer, and also some great dining options. Cape Coral Parkway also goes into Fort Myers via the Cape Coral Bridge, where it becomes College Parkway.
So let's talk about home prices in the Southeast Cape. If you're talking about Gulf access single family homes, and I happen to be at one right now, you can bet that the average Gulf access single family home in the Southeast is going to run somewhere in the low to mid 600s. That's on average. Of course, we could go up or down from that depending on things like the age of the home, the location, how far away it is from open water, things like that. But I think the one that I'm at right now is a pretty good example of that mid 600s. This property is listed at $648,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath pool home on a Gulf access canal right here in the Southeast Cape. It's got pretty good access. It's only about 10 minutes to open water. And I think this home is a pretty good example of what you can get for that mid 600s rate. Of course, we can go all the way up. You know, we set a record a couple of months ago here in the Southeast for the entire city of Cape Coral for a home that sold over $6 million. So you can get up pretty far in advance of that $650,000 or so mark. But generally speaking, you can bet on somewhere in the mid 600s for a Gulf access home like this one. Now, if we want to talk about non-waterfront homes, homes that are not on a Gulf access canal like this home is, you can probably plan on spending somewhere in the low to mid 300,000s if the home doesn't have a pool. If the home has a pool, you're going to be looking in that upper 300s to low 400s, right around that $400,000 mark for a pool home in the Southeast. So our prices over here in the Southeast are about 15 to 20% lower on average than they are in the Southwest, but they're also about 25 years on average older over here. Remember, this area of Cape Coral was the first to be developed, and so a lot of these homes were built in the 60s, 70s, really 70s and 80s, early 90s, most of them. So the homes over in the Southwest are usually going to be in those early to mid 2000s. So we're about 25 years older over here, but again, 15 to 20% cheaper on average for a home here in the Southeast Cape versus the Southwest. So definitely some value here, but your homes are going to be just a little bit older.
So of course I've got to talk about the parks and the preserves, and there are a ton of them in the Southeast, and if you want to see a full list of them, you can go to the City of Cape Coral's Parks and Rec webpage, and I'll go ahead and link to that in the description of this video, but I do just want to highlight a few special ones here in the Southeast, and the first is Cape Coral's only public beach, and yes, it's now back open. The Yacht Club Beach is down on the southeast tip of the Cape, and the park there is currently going through a multi-million-dollar remodel that I'm very excited for, and I'll probably be doing a video on just that in the near future, but in the meantime, the beach is open, and so is the fantastic waterfront bar and restaurant called the Boathouse, which is right there on the sand. This is a great place to come and relax, let the kids play in the sand, get a cool drink or a meal, and stare across the beautiful waterfront. It's really nice to have this place back open since it was closed for about a year since the hurricane in 2022. Another terrific park, which is just to the north of the Yacht Club Beach and also right on the water, is JC Park. This is a little bit more of a traditional park with things like walking and jogging paths, picnic shelters, and playgrounds, but the whole park has these unbelievable waterfront views that just make the experience so much more enjoyable. It's just a great place to spend an afternoon or even your lunch break. Finally, right off of Veterans Parkway in the middle of the Southeast Cape is a public 365-acre wetland preserve called 4 Mile Cove Ecological Preserve. This place is really cool. It's also run by the city, and there are over 6,600 feet of boardwalk trails through the natural wetland habitat here. You can easily spend an entire day here walking through the preserve or even fishing off one of the 2 big observation piers that extend out into the Caloosahatchee. There's also a Veterans Memorial area at the entrance which honors all our many service members.
So there you go. I think that's a pretty good overview of the southeast section of Cape Coral. I didn't get to everything, but as much as I could get to in a 10-minute video like this, hopefully you learned a few things about southeast Cape Coral that maybe you didn't know beforehand, and maybe you have a little bit better understanding of what's around in the southeast section of Cape Coral. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please reach over and hit that like button. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. I think you'll get a lot out of this video. I try to create as much value as I can with this channel. Like I said, in the hopes that when you do have a real estate need here in Southwest Florida, if it's Cape Coral, if it's Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, wherever, maybe you'll reach out to me and give me a call or an email or a text, whatever it takes. Like I said, my contact information is down there in the description of this video, so feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to help you meet your real estate goals here in Southwest Florida. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video real soon in a few days.